Hey guys, this is GamerCow. Welcome to another Pokemon trade card game draft. This is set number 22, also known as Team Rocket Returns. As you can see there. This is, I think, the last time that we see Dark/Rocket's Pokemon in here. As you can kind of see, they have upgraded their typing and somewhat their HP as well. We do have like 70 instead of 60, woo, but some of these are actually like proper big Pokemon. Tyranitar especially at 120. The Rockets Pokemon are where all the EXs come in. Most of them aren't super good, but a couple are, like the Sneasel is actually really good. Shoutouts to the Sizzle for being an Evolution EX, which was just not a thing at this time, but Rocket Cypher exists, and yeah, it evolves into Sizzle. Go figure. So hopefully we don't pull that. This set changes a ton though, because a lot of these trainers are absolutely ungodly strong. We want Pokemon Retriever we could probably do without getting more of, but because there's 2 in the deck, but we want it anyway. Power Hand Extension is like Counter Catcher, so we definitely need that because it's guaranteed gusting. Rocket's Admin is absurd. It's N, but slightly better. Pokeball we could do without. Tricky Gym is good if we play dark stuff, shoutouts to Mahone. We could do with that. And then Surprise Time Machine and especially Swoop Teleporter is one of the biggest ones to get here, so we definitely need a bunch of those. Energy would be pretty good too because they work well with the dark types that are in here. And yeah, some key archetypes that we'd look for. Electrode with the Dragonite that's over here is a pretty good one, especially if we get a couple of these down here. Slowking would be an excellent one to go into. Hypno is a pretty interesting thing. Marowak is good. Steelix is interesting. I don't know if we'd actually play it, but it could be. And the one I need more than anything is this Tyranitar. Specifically this one is the one that we need here. So let's hope that we can get a bunch of them. 36 packs, starting now. Load those cards in. Okay, do we have anything interesting to start off with? Sort of. I'm personally looking at this Rocket's Wobbuffet not necessarily because it's the strongest card out there, but because it's a non-EX Dark type that I can put down. One of the things I've been waiting for this set for is Huntail. And maybe I need to wait one more set for Scramble Energy, but Huntail needs Dark Pokemon in play. And we're probably going to be going against quite a lot of Dark Pokemon at this point as well. So Wobbuffet over here being a non-EX that we could put down, just one retreat as well, pretty strong. Darkade as an attack is also kind of neat if you play a bunch of tools. Search your discard for tools and Rocket Secret Machines, either show one of them and put them into the hand, or show 3 of them and put them into deck. So pretty cool. Amnesia is also kind of annoying, but we're not likely to see that. Dark Raticate is an interesting one because it can stop the opponent retreating, and then if they don't switch by another method, put 5 damage counters on them at the end of the opponent's turn, which is kind of cool. They're probably just going to evolve out of it though, so it's maybe not going to do much, but hey, you could trap like a Dunsparce or something, maybe, I don't know. No, because they just strike and run. Who knows? Spread Poison's kind of good though, like 2 energy, 10 poison, okay, so it's like 20 and 20 to one of the opponent's bench. That's decent. Thorit is also sort of intriguing, shoutouts to the artwork on this one. Choose up to 3 cards in your hand, put them on top of the deck, then search your deck for that many cards, put them into hand. This would be really good if Rocket's Admin wasn't just going to disrupt the hand, but maybe there's enough time for that to get played? I don't know. Moving on. Are you kidding me? Second pack in, we get the secret rare from this set. Here comes Team Rocket. We are not allowed to use our previous copies of this because this is now a supporter card, but it does the same thing. It's Town Map as a supporter. Not particularly good, but if your deck is super sensitive to prizing and you can find time to use this, maybe it's searchable with Hideout, so that could be a thing, I guess. Oh, whatever. Much more important is this Tyranitar over here. Sand damage lets you spread 1 to your opponent's bench basics in between turns. Second Strike does well with this by doing 70 for 3. It's the same as Groudon's Pulverize, and we know that attack is good, so this one obviously is as well. She has the same typing as Groudon too, so that's pretty neat. Heracross is fun, I suppose. It does more damage if the opponent is ahead on prizes, which, yeah, okay. Any damage done from basics is reduced by 20 is decent tanking, so like it's funny but not really super good. And then Wheezing is mostly interesting because it does effectively toxic for one colorless here, but I already have Nidoqueen that does that, so why would I use this? Moving on, we have a couple of really good cards to talk on here. This Meowth is not exactly good. It's the same sort of thing as, like, was it Giovanni? No, it wasn't Giovanni's Meowth, it actually was a Rocket's Meowth before. One of the promos that we had that apparently Pepper used and it was very suicidal. I don't know. Snatch and Run is what you really want to see here. Search your deck for a tool or Rocket Secret Machine, show it to your opponent, put it into hand, and then switch to the bench if you choose to. Same sort of thing as, what's-his-face, Dunsparce. So that's kind of nice. We could use this with Swoop Teleporter as well, which is something we'll get into hopefully when we pull it. Yeah, it's okay. Delibird unfortunately needs to be active for its power, otherwise this would actually be stupidly busted. Shuffle one card from your hand into deck and then draw a card would be really good. Souvenir is a meme, don't bother with it. Dark Metal Energy is good here because we do not have basic Metal and Darkness yet, so this actually lets you have one extra energy of those types. So it's Rainbow, but specifically for Dark and Metal. Electrode can accelerate this from the deck is one of the main things for it, but mostly it's Metal or Darkness 5 through 8 that does not make you play Rainbow, because Rainbow has some negative consequences to it, right? So, pretty good. And then Power Hand Extension, I mentioned this before as Counter Catcher. That is functionally what it is. You can only use it if you're behind on prizes. Spoilers, Electrode is the whole thing for that. Electrode-ex that I pulled before. You either get to move an energy from the defending Pokemon to one of your opponent's other Pokemon, or more likely, switch one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's Gust of Wind, or Pokemon Catcher, but you have to be behind on prizes to use it. However, this is just much better Pokemon Reversal, so we are definitely playing that card. Moving on, we do have another Dark Metal Energy here, which is decent. Sandslash isn't super good, unfortunately, because Swift doesn't get affected by weakness. No Retreat Cast is kind of nice, but it's just not strong enough for what it does. You could use Darkness Energy on this, I suppose, but really, you play a Fighting type to hit for Fighting weakness, this doesn't do that. Golduck is not nearly strong enough this time, which is probably for the best. It was very good last time. It is sort of neat, probably better in doubles if Darkness Shield would actually work. Cold Crush just isn't good enough. It's a guaranteed energy discard, but you've got to discard one on yourself as well, so whatever, don't really care. Dark Dragonite is good. This actually was a meta deck, Dragtrode as the thing was called. This lets you move Darkness Energy anywhere that you want, so it's Energy Trance, it's just Sceptile, but for Darkness Energy. And this works really well with the Electrode, because the Electrode accelerates energy from the deck, but only if it doesn't have energy on it in the first place. So, very good. There's a Horsey here, which might be decent with Kingdra. Search your discard for up to 2 waters, put them into hand. I don't think you really do this, though. I think the only reason you play this maybe is for Swift, actually, because this would let you bypass Shedinja, which is a somewhat relevant threat, actually, considering last week. Nothing at all to speak on this one. Macargo is weird because it's a fire type that takes fighting energy. I don't know. Don't know what they did with that one, but yeah, nothing whatsoever to speak of there. There's a Piloswine. It's kind of interesting, I suppose. 4 energy 60 is not particularly good, but you can make it do 100, so long as you do 30 to yourself as well. I suppose that's a thing. Decent typing, but yeah, just not really there. Moving on. We have ourselves our Rocket Energy here. This can only be attached to a Dark or a Rocket's Pokemon, just like the Magma Energy from before. It provides 2 Dark and does 10 extra damage, but at the end of the turn you gotta discard it. So it's a burst option, basically. Quagsire is cool. If you attach a water from the hand to this thing, you heal all special conditions and 2 damage counters from it. which is neat. You get to choose the order in which this and Blastoise's damage counter would affect, so you can heal to full with this. And then Hyper Pump is 20 times the energy that's on it, but for a maximum of 4, so 80 damage total, which honestly is more than good enough. Definitely a strong option. We have a couple of good things here. Rocket's Pokeball is the boss's way from before, but because it's a different name, this is we can't use the old one. Whoop-de-doo. Mischievous would be really good if we had better switch options, or just imagine that we could switch as many times as we wanted here. Yeah, if you flip heads, it's 10 damage to one of you. Oh, excuse me, 10 damage to one of the opponent's Pokemon. But yeah, not really strong enough when it's a coin toss here. Hide in Shadows is fun, but again, you need other stuff to run with it, really. Magmar is something I need at least one of, potentially 2 here, so good to see it. Dump and Draw is the main synergy with Electrode that I want to exploit. Discard up to 2 energy cards from your hand, then draw 2 for each energy you discarded. So this is how you get the energy in the discard quickly for Electrode to accelerate them, which is really strong. And we have the Arbok over here. This would probably be a good Wally target. If you have more HP remaining than the opponent, you do 40 for 1, which is crazy strong actually. And then extra poison is 30 for any 2, and if you're up against an EX, it's sleep poison, which is kind of strong, so decent card. Okay, so first off, Rocket's Hideout. This is not one that we want to pull because we do have more than 4 copies of this from Neo Revelation, so whatever, right? Rocket's Cypher-ex is interesting. This could potentially be played alongside the Huntail thing. If it has any grass energy on it, it's both grass and dart type, so rainbow energy I suppose, multi could be a thing. Its attacks are pretty mediocre, but it's specifically for hitting grass weakness. This is interesting. 10 plus switch to the bench, and 80 if you hit for weakness, it's 80, and it can't use Slash to Strike next turn. It's not good, but I have seen it in deck lists of the era that actually did well, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. Also, it resists fighting in a deck that is typically weak to fighting, right, in Darkness. Rounding out the first third here, we do get our first Swoop Teleporter. This card is exceptionally important to get. Search your deck for a basic that isn't in the X, switch it with one of your basics in play that also isn't in the X, and any effects, any cards that are on that Pokemon, etc. are now on the new Pokemon, and you discard the first one. 2 exceptional points for this. First off, it's Ninja Boy in Gen 6, if you know that supporter. But the main thing for this is that this lets you convert Dunsparce and other energy hogging support basics into stuff that you can not only attack with because it's your main line, but you can evolve in the same turn that you play this. So, very, very cool card. Definitely going to play a bunch of this. This might even replace Great Ball at sometimes, so super, super good. We need a bunch of this. Alright, second third, let's see what we can do. There's another EX, okay. 2 things to talk about then. Well, no, there's more than 2. Jumpluff is an interesting card. I've seen this paired with Gorbis in the past. I guess I could see why. If it would be knocked out, the entire line has got this ability, by the way. If they're going to get knocked out, you flip a coin, and if heads, it's not knocked out, and it has 10 HP left instead. Think the single strike Hariyama that's in play at the moment, and just like so many examples over the years. Energy Crush is the same attack that we see on Espeon, except it's 10 less base damage. But it's only 1 energy, so it's kind of cool. I don't know if it's good enough in the end, but I could see why you would play this with something like Gorbis, so there's that. Rocket's Hitmonchan is intriguing. If it's active and gets damaged, you put 2 damage counters on the thing that hit it, which is kind of fun. Mach Punch is just a basic 10-10 snipe. Magnum Punch is a good 60 for free energy, which is kind of neat. If you're playing fighting anyway, maybe you could play this. It's okay. I don't know if it's good enough, but it's okay. Houndoom is somewhat neat. If it's active, you can flip to burn the opponent. and if you've got less bench than your opponent, it's 60 for free, which is just a little bit weak to be honest on a frail stage 1. But Rocket's Hideout could buff it to 90 HP, and you could use the Darkness Energy to give it more damage, so it's passable. Another Mischievous, another Rocket Energy, nothing really too fancy in this one. Magikarp's got a good attack. I guess if you have Gyarados EX, Pepper will like that one. Another Wobbuffet, another Piloswine here, nothing really too special, so moving on. Another Mischievous. Rocket's Tricky Gym is good, but we need the other trainers. Thank you very much. Second Magmar is okay, but we haven't seen Tyranitar yet, so it's a little on the scary side. Another Wobbuffet, another Mischievous. Jeez. These packs are being incredibly unkind today. There's another Swoop Teleporter, which is good, and an extra Quagsire. Those are good traits. Need a little bit more than that, but still pretty good. There we go. Okay, this is what we were looking for. Dark Tyranitar. This is pretty much the ultimate combination to go with the Electrode, because it's got 3 pretty situationally awesome attacks, but it really just depends if you can get the energy on it. That's where Electrode-ex comes in. So its first attack, 10 damage plus 10 more for each energy that's on it. If you attach a Darkness to this, this is 30 for 1, which is pretty surprisingly strong actually. Spinning Tail is 20 to each of the opponent's Pokemon, the same attack that was on Steelix, except this time it's for Dark Double Colorless rather than 2 Metal and 2 Colorless, so slightly cheaper. And Bite Off is an impressive 5 energy for 70, but again 2 of them are Dark, so 80 to 90 is expected here. And if the opponent is an EX, it does 120 base, which is absurd. So this is very, very good against a lot of the EX decks, and also with with Electrode accelerating to it, you'll be able to do a ton with this. So much damage output from there. Rocket's Admin is a card we need at least 2 of, preferably more. This is slightly better N. Each player shuffles their hand into his or her deck, then each player counts their prizes remaining and draws up to that many cards. The up to is why it's slightly better. This is like both players shuffle draw 6 at the start of the game, but you can use this late game to force the opponent down to a really low hand size, and it gets kind of absurd. Also, I could use this with Electrode, force them to take 2 prizes, then shuffle them down to a much lower hand size. Super, super disruptive. It's kind of part of the Exodia combo. It's like the last aspect from stuff before, so very, very powerful. A second Scyther? That's kind of whack. Okay, maybe we could use it, I don't know. Kingdra is an interesting card here. I wanted 1 copy of this to do Kingdra-ex stuff with. I don't think it's going to be strong enough, but it's worth a look anyway. As long as it's in play, each of your active Pokemon has no weakness. So it's interesting. It means that EXs don't have their 2 weaknesses at this point. It does not state non-EX, so it does work on stuff like the Kingdra-ex to prevent it from being hit super effective by Grass or Lightning. Its attacks are nothing too special. This is mostly a bench sitter, but who knows? Maybe that'll be okay. Traditionally, these are types of abilities are not super good, but I could see it here because weakness is so important in this era. You hit just so hard with that because the HP totals are low, so maybe it's workable. I don't know. There's a second Jumpluff, and we actually have a first copy of Surprise Time Machine here. Very intriguing card. You devolve one of your evolutions in play and shuffle that evolution into the deck, and then if your Pokemon survives, you search for an evolution card and put it into play. You just evolve the Pokemon again. You might think, why on earth would you do this? There are 2 situations where this is good. One is a divergent evolution line, like we don't have it, but think Blossom and Vileplume, for example. You'd be able to go Blossom down to Gloom and then search for the Vileplume and do that. The other one is actually in that example too, EX to non-EX or vice versa. If I was to use Surprise Time Machine on this Kingdra, I could search for a Kingdra EX and play it from there. So yeah, some pretty cool utility with this card. We'll have to see if it's actually playable but definitely good to see one or two of them. There's another hand extension, is good. Skiploom also has the Zero Retreat, which is pretty good. Dark Slowking would be a very neat deck to play, but nobody else has pulled it so far, which is concerning to say the least. It's mostly about the litter attack, but the cunning ability is pretty good here too. Once during your turn before you attack, look at the top card of your opponent's deck, and then you can shuffle their deck if you don't like what the card is. Litter is where it's at though. Discard a total of up to 2 Pokemon Tool of Rocket Secret Machine cards from your hand, and do 20 plus 30 for each one you discard. So it's 80 for 2, that's the main thing. But it can also be 90 or even 100 if you Strength Charm it as well. So super strong, super aggressive card. Would have been nice to have seen slightly earlier into this draft. Not really a particularly good one here. Mantine, you do not play this as it reads here. You need to have this active to do the damage heal, so it's really bad actually. Nothing else to say. Magneton for some reason poisons. Don't know why it poisons. This thing never does that. It's a steel type. They don't play that. I don't know. Houndoom is an unfortunate holo because it just isn't very strong. It tries to emulate Dark Houndoom from Neo Destiny, but it does it really badly because it does it for free energy. I do not know why. Plus 10 damage is not nearly good enough to justify that. Shakedown would be nice, but it's too frail for that really. So very unfortunate card. Alright, last third, let's see what we can do. There's another hand extension is fun. The third Tyranitar. I say third, no, it's the third hand extension. The other Tyranitar. Did we go over this one already? I forget if I pulled it. I think I did, right? Would have been in the first bit? No, I guess not. Oh no, it's up here. Yeah, we went over this one. So 2 of the Tyranitar. None of the Ampharos that goes with it. That would be the good bit. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay, so first off we have Muck, which is nowhere near as good as it would have been initially. It still has the pay 2 more to retreat thing, so maybe in doubles this could be kind of cool. If you have 2 of these out, it would pay 4 more to retreat, which is kind of absurd. Slimy Water does damage based on the retreat cost, but it's at a 10 times multiplier, which is just awful. And Acidic Poison just does nothing really. Burn Poison, 10 damage, whoop-de-freaking do. Not nearly good enough. This is not Dark Muck from before, that's for sure. Pokemon Retriever is Rescue Stretcher in Expanded. Assert your discard pile for Pokemon, so either one of them to the opponent and put it into hand, or show 3 of them to the opponent and put them into deck. This is the Pokemon recovery we were missing last round, so very strong card, definitely need that. Dark Crobat is a weird card. I think Matt was looking for this one, so maybe we could get something there. If it's your active, once per turn you can poison the opponent, just guaranteed, which is pretty neat. Dark Drain is a 10 spread move and heals 10 for each damage, for all the damage you did basically, which is kind of neat. Skill Dive is unfortunately 2 energy, but still, 30 Snipe is fun, so decent card here. Moving on. We have ourselves another Tricky Chin. Nothing really too great here. The Quillfish just is not really worth talking about, unfortunately. So, next, there it is. Second copy of the Tyranitar is really good here. Second Rocket Energy is nice as well. Yeah, I need like 1 more of this, I think, and then we'll probably be set. So, let's get it. That's not it. This is another Time Machine is interesting. Copycat also gets a reprint in this set. The Golbat is kind of cool as well. It snipes 30 to one of the opponent's Pokemon, but then can't attack next turn. Doesn't matter, it's got 0 retreat. So this is a pretty good aggressive Pokemon as well. Moving on. Second Crobat. Oh, that makes me not want to trade it now. Curious. Dragonair is pretty good. It still has the evolutionary light thing from before, except now it has to be active, which is unfortunate. But it's a pretty good tool in the Dragonite deck, so not too bad. Next, Steelix is very intriguing, but again, too late for stuff here. We'd need to pull a lot of it. It does 20 for 2 energy and then puts a energy from the discard pile onto itself. The key thing with this card is it's both metal and dart type, which means it gets the benefits of both metal and darkness energy. So you can blend it. It's more of a heal tank deck, right? It's got 110 HP as a stage 1, that's absurd. So you kind of use it as a hybrid thing, where it's like, it can heal itself, it can get healed by like Life Herb and stuff like that, but it also, because of being a dart type, you can do extra damage with it too, and just be aggressive with it if you want. So, very cool card if nothing else. Speaking of cool cards, I mean, this might actually be playable with a Huntale, because it is water already. Rocket-Suicune-ex, if it has any water on it, then it can't be affected by special conditions. Whoop-de-doo, I suppose. I don't know. 10 plus all this sleep is fine, and if the opponent is a stage 2 evolution, this does 90 for free. Yeah, this card actually is pretty good. 0 retreat too, so you know it could be a lot worse. I might play that. Alright, moving on. A third Crobat? Really? Welp, I wasn't going to play Dark Crobat, but I might have to consider it now. Third Rocket Energy is also kinda nice, I'm sure we could use that somewhere. Moving on. Oh, there's the big one. Okay. Rocket Sneasel. Definitely happy enough to see this. This is probably the best card of the set, that's in the EX category. Before doing damage, yeah, it's just like 10 damage to the thing, right? You force the opponent to switch, you get to choose what you switch into, it's that weird doubles ruling thing. But yeah, 10 damage for a dark is 20, so pretty strong, and then 30 plus 10 for each of your dart Pokemon in play, including itself, so this ramps up to like 100 damage in a lot of situations. Very, very cool card. Alright, just 2 packs left. We've only seen one Rockets admin, which is unfortunate. Not really looking too great out of that one. We have Magby, which is an unfortunate rare, I suppose. It's actually kind of good, though. If you've got a supporter in play, use the effect of that as this attack, so that's kind of cool. You get to just use your supporter again for the turn, which is fun. Final thing here, thank you. The Tyranitar is what we needed. Okay, this is probably workable. Togetic is interesting as well. It literally just blocks all of your opponent's Dark Pokemon from doing anything. It's a shame it's not Dark and Rockets. It's kind of weird, but okay. And then Rainbow moves for free energy. Remember, boost energy comes back next set, so keep in mind that. Copy one of the opponent's bench attacks. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, I think this has enough of what I am after. We shall see. Why does it keep doing this? It's weird. Maybe I'm just not highlighting stuff properly. I don't know. One thing I didn't get was Dark Metal Energy. I don't remember if that ever actually comes back. So maybe a little bit of a shame there. But this seems pretty okay. I think probably my biggest misses... God, look at all the Rockets Pokeball I got, actually. I know Matt was looking for one of those, so maybe we can work something out for that. I don't know if he'll trade an admin for it, but that would be the hope. Oh, I actually got 2. Okay. So... kind of interesting. We did get, like, 8 Rockets Pokeball, which is crazy. Oh, boy. Okay. So looking at the trainers, an unfortunate amount of copycat, which is a shame. Pokemon Retriever as a one-off is fine because we will get 2 of those in the deck, no matter which one we take, so that's pretty good. 3 Hand Extension is very strong for me. 4 Rockets Pokeball here is pretty good. 2 Time Machine, only 2 Teleporter is unfortunate. You really do want a lot of this card if you're going to play it, but I think it's still okay. Venture Bomb is something we didn't mention, I don't think. If you flip heads, you put the damage count on one of the opponent's Pokemon. If you flip tails, you put one on one of yours. It's like Digger, but without the convoluted toss stuff. This is the biggest flaw here. Only 1 Rockets admin is really annoying. I didn't mention Rocket's mission either. You discard a card from your hand and then draw 3, so this is like TV Reporter, but you discard before you draw. Still very strong though, we're still going to play it as like TV Reporter 3 at this point. If you discard a Rocket's Pokemon though, or a Dart Pokemon, you draw 4 instead, which is pretty good. If I go to look at the theme decks here, this is a 2-of in both of them, so we don't mind about only getting 1 copy of that. This is okay. Remember, VS Seeker is a play as well. I think I'm going to be taking this deck because I didn't get the Marowak. But then looking at the other stuff, yeah, 1 admin is pretty bad. 3 Tricky Gym is very interesting. This does give me options for using stuff that way, so happy enough with that. And then the energy is pretty okay. 2 Dark Metal and 4 Rocket's energy, so if we do play stuff like the Tyranitar, we can definitely use this. It's a bit of a shame the Suicune is 2 water. If this was water double colorless, this would be insane, right? Bit of a shame there, but I think we're good. So we have that, we have the Sneasel, which is very powerful. The Hitmonchan is interesting. Otherwise, it's kind of biddy. We got this, but I only got 2 Golbat. Man, why does this always happen? Gonna need more, probably gonna need more Golbat. Whatever. Oh, excuse me, getting choked up a little bit here. Yeah, so I'm definitely taking this deck because I need Marowak. I probably actually need to still trade for this as well, if possible, because I wanted more of the card. Does a lot of damage but you got to discard Pokemon, but that works with the other Marowak, so I kind of wanted this as a deck. Getting the other T-Tar is nice as well, I suppose, but yeah, okay, this is an interesting one. We will have to see what comes out of this. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed yourselves with this. What a weird little draft this is. I don't know how this is going to go, but it's very strange. Few decks I can make out of it though, so we will have to see. Alright, take care.